Scared to close my eyes.
Did you know that Stephen King got scared by a movie? In his 50-year career, King has written 65 novels and over 200 short stories, scaring us to death with characters like Annie Wilkes from Misery and Cujo the rabid dog. You'd think nothing could rattle him. But here we are. The movie that freaked out Stephen King is none other than The Blair Witch Project. In 1999, while in the hospital, King tried watching it on VHS. Oh, for our Gen Z audience, this is what a VHS looks like. He was doped up on painkillers and couldn't finish the film, calling it too freaky. This from the man who created Pennywise? So, what makes the Blair Witch Project so bone-chilling that it freaked out the king of horror himself? Let's break it down. The movie kicks off with Heather, Mike, and Josh, 3 film students who decide to make a documentary about the legendary Blair Witch.
Got it? Okay, I got you.
They head to Burkittsville, Maryland, a sleepy town with some seriously creepy history with filming equipment and food supplies. Right from the start, the locals start spilling the beans on some truly unsettling tales. One story is about Rustin Parr, a hermit from the 1940s who kidnapped and killed 7 children in his basement. He'd make one kid stand in the corner while he murdered the other. If that doesn't set the mood, I don't know what will. They also hear about Robin Weaver, a young girl who disappeared in 1888 and came back 3 days later babbling about an old woman whose feet never touched the ground. Oh, and let's not forget about Coffin Rock, where 5 men were found killed in a dark ritual in the 1800s, only for their bodies to vanish without a trace.
And they disappeared off the face of the earth.
Really?
Okay, it's all right, Ingrid. I'm just telling a scary story, but...
All these spooky stories put the audience on edge, setting the stage for the nightmare about to unfold. The students finally make their way into the woods, finding an old graveyard with 7 small cairns. Cairns are heaps of stones usually found on a mountain used to mark a place. Josh accidentally knocks one over, and later that night, they hear sticks snapping around them. The next day, 3 more cairns appear next to their tent. Heather's map goes missing, and Mike, in a moment of frustration, admits he kicked it into a creek. Now they're really lost, and tensions are running high. Using Heather's compass, they decide to head south, but all they find are creepy stick figures hanging from trees. That night, something shakes their tent after they hear children laughing. And you know what they say, a child's laughter can be the most beautiful sound in the world. Except when you're stuck in the woods at night, without a map. And you didn't bring a child with you. The 3 of them are frightened by this, and in panic, they run into the forest. The following morning, they return to find their possessions rifled through and Josh's camera gear covered in slime. Ew. Then things go from bad to worse. Josh disappears. Heather and Mike hear his cries of agony echoing through the woods, but they can't find him anywhere.
Josh?
Heather discovers a bundle of sticks tied with a piece of Josh's shirt. Inside, she finds a bloody scrap of his shirt, some teeth, a finger, and hair. Absolutely gross. But she doesn't tell Mike about this, and they continue searching for their friend, growing more terrified and desperate by the minute. Heather decides to take responsibility for the nightmare they found themselves in, and records a heartbreaking apology to their families. This scene, with her teary eyes and face lit only by the camera light, is one of the most iconic moments in horror cinema. Chances are you've seen it somewhere, even if you've never watched this film. That night, they hear Josh's voice again and follow it into an abandoned house where they find demonic symbols and bloody handprints belonging to children on the walls. This 5-minute sequence where they trudge through the house while being assaulted by strange screams is one of the most disturbing sequences in any horror movie ever. Mike heads to the basement where an unseen force attacks him, causing him to drop his camera. Heather follows, only to find Mike standing in a corner, unresponsive. Then, BAM! The unseen force attacks her as well, and her camera drops. The end. We're left thinking the worst, playing horrible scenarios over and over in our heads as the credits roll. The Blair Witch Project left audiences, including Stephen King, absolutely rattled. King even wrote about it in his 2010 book, Don's Macabre, saying, "One thing about Blair Witch, the damn thing looks real. Another thing about Blair Witch, the damn thing feels real." And because of that, it's like the worst nightmare you've ever had. This movie is brutal with its horror. It constantly makes you think about what's out there in the dark, watching you just out of sight. The found footage style makes it feel like it could happen to anyone, anywhere. It taps into primal fears that we all have. The fear of being lost, the fear of the unknown, and it does it in such a subtle way that you don't even realize how scared you are until it's over. Before the movie came out, it was boosted by a brilliant marketing campaign. They promoted it as if it was real footage discovered in the woods of Burkittsville, Maryland. They spun this tale that 3 student filmmakers had met some unknown but horrific fate. This created a kind of organic anticipation that's really hard to replicate these days. There was a website which had flyers of the missing filmmakers, images of their deserted equipment, and a timeline detailing strange occurrences in the history of Blair Township. Visitors could check out extra content not included in the film, such as interviews with investigators and entries from Heather's diary. There was even a documentary about the Blair Witch, which portrayed her as an actual local legend. It made audiences question reality and left them with a sense of dread that lingered long after the credits rolled. If the Blair Witch Project was too much for Stephen King, then you know it's a horror classic worth watching. Just maybe not alone in the dark, or while you're doped up in a hospital bed. Which part of the film sent chills up your spine? Did this movie manage to ruin camping experiences for you? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't miss out on our YouTube memberships. You might have noticed that little join button below. When you click on it, you become a member of our channel, part of an exclusive club. So, what do you get as a member? Firstly, you'll get these awesome loyalty badges next to your name in the comment section. It lets everyone know you're one of our VIPs. We'll also give shoutouts to our members in our videos because, hey, we appreciate you. Members also get early access to our videos. You'll be the first to see all the new content we're cooking up. And for all you lovers of horror, we've got something extra special. We're introducing the Dark Vault tier, where we'll be posting exclusive videos just for our horror fans. For those who may not want to join, our regular content will still be available for everyone to enjoy. Memberships are just for those who want to take their support to the next level. So if you want to unlock all these awesome perks and join our growing community, just hit that join button below. We can't wait to welcome you to the club. Click the video on the screen to find your next binge or movie to watch.